There is quite a variety of different stitch types that you can use in Inkstitch. Today I'm going to go over the most basic of these stitches that you are going to need if you want to start designing. This video will cover the fill stitch, the running stitch, the bean stitch, the zigzag stitch, and satin stitch. First up, it's the fill stitch. This is the most common stitch that I personally use in my embroidery designs, and it's also the most simple. You can use any one of these three tools to make your fill stitch. Let's choose the rectangle. Now, to make a fill stitch, we do want to make sure our shape has a fill. Now, I did cover this in my previous video going over the basics of Inkscape. I highly recommend you go watch that one if you have no idea what a fill or a stroke is. So I'm going to give this rectangle a fill and take away the stroke. So we have a dark blue rectangle. Let's make this a little smaller, and let's open it in params. To do that, you come up to extensions, Inkstitch, params. Okay, and that's it. There are different fill methods you can choose. You can choose different effects for different textures you want in your designs. The one thing I do want to address in this video is the amount of stitches that this takes up. If you look over here on the right, it is telling us that this is currently 1,284 stitches, which is quite a lot of stitches for, let's be honest, not that complex of a shape. But we can fix that. The best way of fixing that is to increase this value here, this spacing between rows. Now, if you look at it right now, it's pretty tight knit. If we increase this to 0.5, you'll see that the spacing between all the rows is a lot wider. You can turn it up even more if you'd like. It just depends on how dense you want your fill stitch. Now, the other thing you could do is come over here to this box and skip the last stitch in each row. The last stitch tends to be very close to the first stitch of the next row, so removing this will take down the stitch count again if it is getting a little bit crazy. Okay, we're going to apply and quit. You can have different settings for each of your shapes. So if I come over here and copy this here, and then I copy another one here, and I select just this shape, Control-Alt-P, open up params. Now you'll see it's currently set to 0.5 because it took my settings from my previous rectangle. I can set that back to 0.25, apply and quit. And if I select this one, open up params, set this to 0.75, you'll see if I don't select anything now and I just open up params, it's going to give us 3 rectangles, and they're all going to have different fills. The next thing I want to talk about is the running stitch. You're going to be using this mostly for drawing a little bit of attention to other shapes or objects in your design. And all you're going to do is you're going to come over here to the pen tool, make sure it's set to regular mode here. What you're going to do is you're going to make a point or a node. You're going to come over here, you're going to make another point, so you have this red line coming off it, and you are going to right click and it will make a line. And this is enough for a running stitch. Let's increase the width of the stroke here, kind of give it a bit of definition. In previous versions of Inkstitch, this would have had to be a dashed line. You no longer have to do that. You could keep it as a solid line if you'd like. If you're not sure what version of Inkstitch you're using, go with the dotted line just to be safe, but if you know you're using the most up-to-date one, you can just do a solid line. Now, this running stitch is a very basic stitch, but it does lead us on to the next, more interesting version that Inkstitch will let us do. So I'm just going to Control-C, copy-paste this over here, and we're going to open this one in params. We're going to select it, Control-Alt-P. It will do our running stitch, and you can see that running stitch is kind of set in the same category as bean stitch, but this isn't actually a bean stitch at the moment. But if we come down to this option here and we set this to 1, it will start doing back and forth repetitions. So it is essentially doing 3 lines between each of the little points. Now, it is incredibly hard to tell the difference between a running stitch and a bean stitch on Inkstitch, just because this looks exactly like a running stitch. But we are going to apply and quit. And we are going to remember this is the running stitch, this is the bean stitch. We're going to put these over here so we can come back to them later when we load it up on our embroidery machine. The third stitch we're going to cover is the zigzag. Unlike the running stitch, the width of your zigzag stitch does matter. So I'm going to have 3 lines here. One is going to be about 0.5 millimeters. Another one I'm going to have as 1 millimeter, and another one I'm going to have as 1.5 millimeters. And I'm going to select all of these, going to open params, and it's going to do all of these as a running stitch until I come over here to the method and change that to a zigzag. Our 0.5 on the left, our 1 millimeter in the middle, and our 1.5 millimeter on the right. And you can see that it has increased the size of our zigzag peaks. Now you can also come in here and set the spacing between the peaks. Set it to 0.2, that's going to be a lot more compressed. Set it to 0.5, and it creates a pretty nice, neat zigzag stitch. We're going to apply and quit, and that is our zigzag stitch. Now we are moving on to our final stitch type, and that is the satin stitch. Now, just like the zigzag stitch, the width of our line does matter again, so let's make 3 versions here, like so, 0.5, 1, and 1.5. Now we're going to select all of these. We can't open this in params just yet because this is just going to be a running stitch. You can make satin stitches manually. It's very time consuming, and honestly we don't need it for this little demonstration. Inkstitch does give us a very quick and easy way of turning these lines into satin stitches. Now if you did watch my previous video, I did show you a possible keybind you could use for this process, but since I'm only going to be doing this process once in this video, I will show you how to do it without my custom keybind. All you're going to do is you're going to come over to extensions, come down to Inkstitch, you're going to come to tools, satin, and then you're going to convert line to satin. That has converted our 3 lines into something completely different. As you can see, the width of the line does make a big impact on how the satin stitch works. Inkstitch does not give you the best representation for how this will look on your actual embroidery machine. In my personal experience with the satin stitch, I much prefer going 1 millimeter or higher. Just note that you cannot actually change the width of the satin stitch once it's been converted. You want to make sure you have the proper width set before you convert it. And that is the very basics of the satin stitch. If you wanted, you could also change these to E stitches, or even S stitches. And that is our basic stitches. Let's take this over to the embroidery machine to see how it turns out. Okay, so I'm over here at the embroidery machine and it's running through the stitches we've created. As you can see, it's putting together the fill stitches first, and then it's going to go ahead and make the lines we did. You can change the order your embroidery machine stitches, and I will have a separate video on how to do that in the future. Now, the following 6 lines, 3 zigzag and 3 satin, are very similar. You want to make sure that in your design you set the zigzag stitches to something a little higher than I did, and I encourage you to put together a similar file on your own embroidery machine so you can see how these stitches behave. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next time. Bye!